What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to talk to you about fall transitioning into winter, how to catch them bass. Stay tuned. Alright, guys, so I just got back from a trip from Warrior River or Bankhead Lake, whatever you want to call it. I just caught like 25, 30 fish. One spot I sat there and caught like 20 pounds with the 5 best fish out of that spot. So it was an awesome day. The water temperature is from 48 to the 52 degree range. Where I was fishing, it was mainly 51, 52. So what I'm going to talk to you about is the baits that I use today to find those fish that are transitioning from fall into winter. So one of the first things that I really like, this is a Strike King flat-sided crankbait. It's got a real tight wobble to it. This time of year, I'm throwing that crankbait out there. I'm not burning it back. I'm slow reeling it. And it'll just feel like one just comes up behind it and just barely grabs it. You'll just, kind of pull with it. You don't really have to set the hook real hard with them. They don't fight like crazy this time of year. A few turns of the handle and a few, head spins, they're pretty much done. Another crankbait that I do like that is very inexpensive they're like $3.99 a piece. At Academy Sports and Outdoors, they've got these flat little square bills. They only dive like 3 to 5 foot. Man, these things are awesome. I like the crawl color, as the water gets colder, and the shad colors is, about this time of year. But I was just going to throw that little extra in there. Maybe y'all can check them out, save you a little bit of money. Alright, so the setup that I like to use for my crankbaits is a 7-foot Impulse Energy Series rod. This rod is a glass rod. I love glass when I'm throwing little crankbaits or, anywhere to that 10 to 15 foot range and lower. I like throwing glass just because when that crankbait is coming through those rocks and the wood or whatever I'm fishing, that backbone allows me to stop that crankbait to float up and come back over that cover. It doesn't make the hooks penetrate that cover. You got a graphite rod, a lot of times it'll do that, so that's a little tip. And the reel that I'm using, this goes back to what I was talking about last time. You don't have to buy very expensive reels. This reel is a Quantum Pulse. It's like 34 bucks. I just bought it to see how well it'd last, and I've been throwing plugs on it ever since early summer. And this thing, it works great. The drag's awesome. It's easy to set up. I throw everything from a 6XD all the way down to a Series 3. So check them out also. Alright, now the second thing that I like to use, spinner baits. This time of year when that water temperature gets down to around the 55, 58-ish, I like Colorado blades. Double Colorados. This is a Booyah. It's 3/8 ounce. And I always throw, instead of a trailer, I actually just throw a trailer hook. A lot of times those fish they're not super aggressive, so they'll come at your bait and they'll hit it. But I believe, this is my opinion, I believe what they do, they're trying to hit that bait fish and stun it, not kill it, but stun it to where they can eat it later. So they're not going to get a real good hit on your spinner bait. So I like throwing that little trailer hook because 9 times out of 10, if they smack it, you've got them. The hook set ratio is amazing. Now, my setup that I use for this is an Impulse Energy Series 7-foot spinnerbait rod. This rod was specifically designed by Zell Rowland, and it's 4 spinnerbaits. If you're a spinnerbait person, I've got to tell you, you've got to get you a good technique-specific spinnerbait rod. And the reason that I say that is I can make so much more accurate casts with this rod than I could just a multi-technique rod or just a moderate action rod. This thing right here was specifically designed for those quarter all the way up to the big boy spinnerbaits. So guys, check them out. Alright, last but definitely not least, this is what I caught 90% of my fish off today. This is just a Strike King jerkbait. This is the chrome AU color, and the reason that I like the chrome today, the sun was out, had a little bit of wind, so on and so forth. There was a lot of conditions that determined me choosing chrome. But a lot of times when you get those cloudy skies, I will go to like a clear AU, especially if the water clarity is, very clear. So, I mean, I don't know if y'all can really tell it, but they have chewed the paint all off the side of this thing. I've done had to swap hooks and everything else. I mean, they is smoking it today. What I like to throw it on is the 6'8" Impulse Energy Series. This is specifically designed for jerk baits and top water. This rod was designed by Zell Rowland also. I don't know if many of y'all know who he is, but he is one of the best top water fishermen in bass fishing. And that's what this rod was designed for, was to throw these top waters and jerk baits and stuff like that without getting just absolutely wore out. And for the reel, I like a 7:1 or a 7:5 gear ratio. It doesn't really matter what brand, whatever you're comfortable with. Mine specifically, I've got the Shimano SLX. So but that's my setups, and that's what I use to catch those fish during that fall to winter transition. Appreciate you guys watching.